Right, I haven't been very well. Bit of man flu, but we had to do this because there's a fight on this weekend, and I know all you casuals out there will be watching. The hardcores, maybe, we don't care about them. They're losers. I mean, who sits and watches fights all day, every day, anyway? Honest. So yeah, strictly for the fight casuals, Jon Jones is fighting Dominick Reyes this weekend on UFC, whatever number it is. We'll let the hardcores remember those. Jon Jones, probably the greatest of all time in the UFC in terms of resume. Just a decade of destruction. You know what I mean? The guy has owned the light heavyweight division. No one has been as dominant as him. You could argue in sport, like what a era he's had, and he's had controversy as well. I mean, his profile really should be massive by this point, and this weekend it feels like it's a bit of a meh. Most MMA fans, you know, they'll watch it, but the buzz, the hype, I mean, you could hear a rat piss on fucking cotton and be louder than the buzz for this. No one really cares. And it's weird, after all the fucked up shit Jon Jones has done, all the drug tests, all the great fights, I mean, he should have a massive profile, but he just doesn't. You know, he's talking shit about Israel Adesanya, and yeah, Adesanya Romero, I mean, people really want to say that. People really care about Adesanya's fights now, and he's already achieved that a lot quicker than Jon Jones did. I don't know if that's because he's the new kid or whatever. Jon Jones did have that buzz early on, but it just seems to have gone. He beat DC. Now that was class. DC was beating him in that fight as well, and then he came back with spite, with just savage head kick, all that shit. He just fucked this guy up. It was sad because I like DC, but like I really respected that. That was like, all right, you are the man. Anthony Smith, it's just a nothing fight. It was so boring, waiting for someone to take a risk. But Jones is not that guy. Like he's kind of like the Mayweather of MMA in that he sort of reads you, doesn't take too many risks, lets you make those mistakes trying to get to him and then capitalizes. And Anthony Smith didn't want to take that risk. I never understand that looking back. I mean, this isn't about him, but I always thought, you know, you're a bit of a journeyman. This is your one chance you're going to get. Risk it all. Go for fucking broke. And he never really did in that fight. And Jones was never under that pressure that he should have been. Santos put him under some pressure. Santos, even with a fucking dodgy leg from the first round, showed some holes in Jones's game. Ones that I've always known were there, but you have to have that knockout power to really put him on the back foot at times. And Santos had his respect from the get-go. And if Santos didn't have a dodgy leg, I think he probably would have got the decision on that. If that. So we're seeing potentially the powers of Jones maybe fading a little bit. We might be wrong. You're not going to beat Jon Jones wrestling, tactically, on the ground, like in terms of controlling the cage, in terms of working out the opponent, in terms of managing a fight during the fight and knowing how to handle it as it's going. He's probably the best of all of those ever. The way to beat him, for me, if there is a blueprint, you got to have a risk taker. You got to have someone who's going to not give him that time to work them out, who's going to come straight out, balls to the wall. Jon Jones hasn't fought many people who I looked at and thought they were dangerous enough to really hurt him. There's some punchers he's fought, Rampage, Rashad. He was so oversized for them, and he kept them so at bay, they couldn't even get near him. He needs someone with the size as well as the knockout power to really give him that threat. Dominick Reyes seems to have the belief. He's wild enough because he's got that killer instinct. He's got knockout power, and he's as big as Jon Jones. Maybe not in reach, but you know, he's a big unit. I'm certainly not sitting here saying he's going to be the guy for sure. It wouldn't surprise me if he did this, because Jones is looking rusty. You know, yeah, Jones could go on and put on another masterclass and just technically shut him down. If he goes out there and gets in his face early on and tries to land on him and does what I've seen him do in other fights where he repeatedly follows it up. Because so often with Jon, there's too much respect. So you hit him with one and really that's the time to go, and they go, all right, I don't want to take too many risks here. You know, this is the GOAT here. I'm not going to follow it up. I'm going to hit one and then let him breathe. Like, you can't do that, mate. You got to fucking, this is it, go time now, you know what I mean? And with Dominick Reyes, he has that killer instinct where he does follow it up. So he might be the guy. And I would kind of think it would be quite funny because this feels like maybe his last fight at light heavyweight. He's finally plucking the courage up to talk about going to heavyweight after so many others have been doing it. Daniel Cormier been doing it because those mega money fights are there for him, and he's very skilled, very capable of beating some of those guys. But at that weight class, I'll give Jones credit. He's honest. He's They're fucking big punchers up there. I can't take those kind of punches regularly, like, you know. He's smart. Obviously, Jones is one of the greatest of all time for good reason. I mean, you'd expect him to win still. And if I had a gun to my head, I'm betting on Jones. Do you know what I mean? But I don't. And there's some fucking good odds on BetBull for Dominick Reyes to win by knockout. I got 5-1 on that. I'm taking that. You can also bet with me on that when you follow me on the BetBull app. All you have to do is sign up with us. It actually really helps us make the videos as well. The link is in my pinned tweet on Twitter or on my bio on Instagram. lp.betbull.com/thekickoff. And they've got a really good offer on for this fight, so you can bet anything up to £150. So that's what you deposit into your account when you first sign up. They'll match that in free bets. So even if you, for example, were to bet that on Dominick Reyes to win by knockout, if you lost, you'd still have £150 in your account to bet on other stuff afterwards. So that is like unusual in the betting game. Do you know what I mean? They don't offer that. You know, you could use that for the Tyson Fury fight that's coming up as well. It's a really good sign-up offer. And the main thing for my side is if you guys support us by doing that, if you want to bet anyway, then it helps us pay for the show. So I really appreciate everyone who signs up. You're a fucking legend. Don't forget, obviously, you've got to be over 18, read the terms and conditions, and gamble responsibly, guys. A few people might be thinking I'm disrespecting Jon Jones. Some of the things he's done, especially early on, were really special. The way he mopped the floor with Shogun at a point in time when Shogun was thought of as unbeatable. The run he went on, the who's who he beat. Also the lack of seriousness in preparing for a lot of these people, and he just went and fucking dominated them all. I just kind of miss the way he was. I guess that's my main thing. It's like he used to be so unpredictable. The suplexes that he used to do. He'd get people up against the cage and he'd do this spinning elbow into their faces. Like, you were really amazed by his creativity. He was getting compared to Anderson Silva because when he stepped in the cage, he made me feel like a young Anderson Silva would, like that excitement that we're about to witness fucking magic here. I never feel that way about Jon Jones fighting now. It's very predictable. You know, you kind of know the style. He's taken all that risk-taking out of his game, and it's clearly being coached out of him, and probably for the better of his chances of winning. But as an entertainer, I'm not loving it. You know, I preferred him when he was just a wild motherfucker who didn't know what he was going to do next. Many would say Dominick Reyes doesn't even belong in there with him. He hasn't earned it. I mean, I think he's got the same amount of fights as Jones might have more title defenses than he even has fights. Like, that is the difference. We're talking about some kid who I think was an IT student watching Jon Jones videos a few years ago. Now he's getting in the cage with him. And all he did was knock out Chris Weidman, like, which pretty much everyone does now. Like, and Chris Weidman isn't even a light heavyweight. This might be a big awakening for Reyes. Like, oh shit, like, this is the real fucking deal, because he's never fought anyone anywhere near the level of Jones. And maybe his confidence, because he's very confident, and I like that for my bet. I'm like, okay, I'm liking the confidence, but maybe that confidence is there because you ain't never been at this level before and you're about to be checked. You just never know until they get in there with Jones. You just never know. There's some people who hold their own a bit and look decent, and there's some who get absolutely humiliated. We've never seen him lose before, but in that, I just can't shake that last fight. He just didn't look good. He didn't look anything like a world champion in that last fight for me. I was just like, that last round, you got a guy who's on one leg drawing with you. In my opinion, at that point, I thought he's go and kill this guy off, and he just sort of took the round off. I'm like, you're a championship fighter. Like, you got to take this home now. This might not be the fight where Jones loses. He might go to heavyweight after this, but it's coming. It's in the post. All of this, all of that, Francis Ngannou. Oh, that would end badly. That would end badly. Fucking hell. He might put you in a grave. You know what I mean? That kind of bad. When Jon Jones gets hit, he just backs away in a straight line often and puts his hands out and goes like that, and he can get away with it because he's got an 84-inch reach advantage and he can jump away. But when you get someone with that comparable size and knockout power who will follow that up, Jones is getting finished at some point soon. Them holes in that game have been there for years now. He hasn't patched them up. So I'm going to pick Dominick Reyes to beat Jon Jones. I might be wrong. Doesn't matter. Just a casual anyway, am I right? And if you want to put your money where your mouth is on either side, don't forget you can sign up with us to BetBull at lp.betbull.com/thekickoff. Also, the link is on Twitter, my pinned tweet, and in my bio on Instagram. You don't have to bet £150, by the way, like, in order to get them free bets. You could bet, I don't know, £50 and get £50 in free bets, or 30 and get £30 in free. Whatever you bet, they'll match that, basically. But that offer is treble their normal offer. I think the normal offer we've got is £50 they'll match. Now they're going up to 150. Don't forget the terms and conditions, be 18 and over, and gamble responsibly. As for this fight, let me know in the comments what you think's going to happen either way. And what does Jon Jones need to do to become, without doubt, greatest of all time? Is it win the heavyweight title as well? Anyway, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll see you later.